Welcome, everyone. I'm Daniel Benning from Biotics Research, and I'm here with Chris Eve, as many of you know. You don't know me, but we really appreciate her wanting to be a part of these classes to help you better navigate health. And she is obviously very proactive in this area, and we are very blessed to have her utilizing our products to help you feel better. And I'm just here as a computer runner, and but also add in some of my experience. I've been with Biotics for 24 years now, and give you some testimonials of what Chris is talking about and offering to you. So Chris, welcome. Thank you for coming along.
Thank you.
I will do my best to run the slides.
All right. So welcome, everybody. We are going to be discussing the MetabolicBiome Plus, and as Daniel said, he is more or less the expert. He's been with Biotics for over 24 years, and Biotics is somewhat of a new product line for me. I'm actually currently in the middle of doing this microbiome, but we want to kind of do a little refresher course on the NutriClear Plus. Now, I do have a question regarding that for you, Daniel. Is that, because it does say we should do the NutriClear Plus before we do the microbiome, is that kind of a set in stone kind of thing, or?
You know, I found in the nutritional world with all my years that nothing's set in stone, but it was kind of set up this way because the NutriClear Plus kit kind of sets the stage for cleaning things out. And then the MetabolicBiome Plus, which is a really unique, cool new kit, we'll talk about it, you know, during the class here, is designed to really reset the system.
Perfect.
So I like to clean it up, then reset. But however the client wants to do it, and you can manage that as well, but that's the initial plan.
Okay, perfect. So basically, signs that your system is overloaded or overwhelmed. As the slide says. Feeling tired all the time, fatigue, feeling blue, you're kind of maybe depressed, but not clinically depressed, brain fog, finding it hard to focus and concentrate, joints, painful joints, tenderness, muscles, things like that, trouble sleeping, craving those unhealthy carbs and sugars, bloating or digestive issues, and headaches. And number 9 would be actually impairing our immune system, which obviously we need to have a pretty substantial immune system.
Yeah, let me share with the listeners, if you don't mind. I love that list of things to think about because people don't really know how good they can feel. And this program's been with us for many, many years. I may have mentioned this in the first talk. On average, in the 15-day program, you have 7 pounds of weight loss. But also we did a small group study with a pre and post subjective questionnaire, and we had a 65% reduction in pain and inflammation. And in my experience with other practitioners and their clients, this is a wonderful 15-day detox kit during allergy season, which is really prime right now, because what we are doing is we're opening up the liver pathways. And we're taking, I always say there's compounding factors to an allergic response. We're taking the food offending components away. So we're reducing the allergic response. And when we're taking the inflammatory foods away and cleaning up the system, our allergic response is much, much lower. And I have that feedback all the time from clients. I remember years ago lecturing, and a 21-year-old young woman raised her hand. She goes, my makeup doesn't run from my snotty eye, nose and eyes on my way to work. And then from the mood component, again, we know about the gut-brain connection. When we clean up the GI, the brain is much, much clearer.
Now, I know when I did the NutriClear in January, my sinuses had a huge, huge improvement. So I was very happy with that.
There's a lot of positives to a program like this.
All right. So ideally, we would do the NutriClear Plus first. How soon after the NutriClear Plus would we start the microbiome?
I mean, I would dive right into it if you're so willing. I mean, because we've set the system up, we've cleared it up. I will tell you, I've not seen a failure with this, with at least some level of improvement of feeling better on the NutriClear Plus program. So then going into the MetabolicBiome Plus is just a perfect next step. It's a little bit higher in calories.
Right.
A little more, there's more food options, not that the
Yeah.
NutriClear Plus is overly restrictive.
Not at all.
Right, but the MetabolicBiome Plus, it's the protein content is higher in the
Right.
shakes a little bit, and there's no detox factors per se going on. Now
Right.
you're rebuilding the biome, the north to south tube, and all the microbiota.
Right. And we have 3 options of protein with
Yes.
the microbiome.
Yeah, you have the hydrolyzed collagen,
Right.
you have whey protein, and you have, and I will clarify this one, it's a pea protein, but it's an organic United States sourced pea protein.
Okay.
Right now with global supply issues, a lot of the companies are buying, to be very honest with you, from China. And some good stuff comes out of China in the supplement world, but we looked at the pea proteins from China. We put it into our laboratory, our in-house laboratory, and we found it very high in heavy metals. So we wouldn't use it.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
All right. So we already talked about that.
Yep.
So straight to the gut.
Yes.
I'm out of order, it looks like.
That's okay. I'm happy to help.
Okay. So
So yeah,
microbiome.
following your detox, then we would go into the, I'm going to back one slide into these 3 kits here. And we did talk about, you see the pea protein, both proteins, all 3 proteins come in 2 different flavors. So there's a vanilla and a chocolate. There is a bias to the flavoring we see in the industry is the chocolate's pretty good. And my personal preference is the hydrolyzed collagen.
Yeah, that's actually the one that I'm doing now.
Good.
I did the pea protein in the NutriClear, and it produced a little bit of gas.
Yes.
So I decided to try the collagen, and it is much better for
Yeah.
me. Not everybody, but for me, it's definitely much better.
Yeah, and so the components of that are, for the listeners out there, the NutriClear Plus program comes in an organic pea protein. It's a clean protein, it's a low allergen protein.
Right.
And sometimes there's a little gas and bloating. And there's a doctor of ours in Barcelona, Spain, and he did a speech called Gas is a Gift. Because we know what we're doing is when we add that amount of protein to the diet, we're not used to digesting that much protein on a normal basis. So that's a positive, but we're shifting the microbiome. That's the gas and bloating is we are quickly shifting the microbiome. Like if you ate a McDonald's lunch, you just shifted the microbiome for a couple of days.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're adding healthy components back to the microbiome. The probiotics is what we're talking about with the microbiome. And that's what the pea protein does. The hydrolyzed collagen, a high amount of protein, collagen, which I call it Botox in a jar. I mean, collagen's the niche in our industry right now. This is a very clean product, but it's a very tasty shake.
Yes, it is actually. Now, can you add when we're resetting the microbiome, like with the NutriClear, we added fruit or vegetables to the shakes. Can we do that to these?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that, except there's plenty of calories here.
Right.
You're at 21 grams of protein in a shake.
Right.
Twice a day. That's 42 grams of protein a day. Most people don't even eat that much in a day.
Right.
But you can, mix it up a little bit for sure.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about the role of the polyphenols. The micronutrients packed with antioxidants that get us to get through certain plant-based food.
Yeah.
Produced by plants, polyphenols protect from ultraviolet radiation, the oxidative stress of photosynthesis, and pathogens. More than 8,000 polyphenolic compounds have been identified in various plant species. So clearly a diet rich in that would be beneficial.
Huge. Yeah.
Right. So it can help from cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases. They're anti-aging, possibly because of their antioxidant activity. And there's just a number of health benefits to be provided, such as improved digestion, which is what we're going for here.
Yeah.
For the most part, right? Weight management, diabetes regulation. Anything else?
Yeah, the beauty of polyphenols is, I remember a brilliant speaker out there, Patrick Quillen, wrote a book on beating cancer with nutrition. And he was not just doing the nutrition, he was doing the allopathic work too. But he was the first registered dietitian with Cancer Centers of America. And he gave a great lecture about your salad should be a rainbow. The colors are the polyphenols mostly. And so when we eat that, red pepper and the, radishes and things of color, the colors are the polyphenols. And so you're getting a very strong antioxidant base. And we're learning more and more about polyphenols and the components in foods that are so, as you noted, Chris, is, the anti-aging component, the antioxidant component. And we are constantly, I live in Phoenix. I hiked the other day up the mountain. I could see the pollution level, over Phoenix. We're constantly exposed to oxidants.
Right. All right. So there is a link between your diet and disease. That link has been made between obesity and a lack of diversity in the gut. The microbes in the gut have also been found to play an important role in the immune system. And clearly, we've had quite the challenge of our immune system these last few years. But it does play an important role in the immune system, as well as impacting our metabolic and neurobehavioral traits. So the population of microbes in the gut protect us against gastrointestinal mucosal permeability.
Yeah.
Leaky gut is what is most commonly referred to at this stage. And the microbial population that is high in bacteria that ferment carbohydrates can lead to both excessive lipid storage and methane production. So that's your high cholesterol, that's your gas, and bloating. Increased gut permeability due to low microbial diversity has also been linked to chronic low-grade inflammation. And like you mentioned, the NutriClear Plus, you had a 64% decrease.
Right.
Yeah, and I felt it personally in my sinuses and in my joints. The gut microbiome has been identified as an organ or an environmental factor that regulates lipid storage in the body. Diet plays a pivotal role in the bacteria that resides in the gut. Some foods can hinder the production of beneficial microbes and upregulate the harmful bacteria.
Yeah, I mean, this is becoming an emerging, I've been at this for 30 years. We were recommending probiotics 30 years ago, but it's now becoming a very distinct and emerging science. And we're seeing the importance of the probiotics, the microbiome at every level, from neurotransmitter production for the happy hormones, to helping, as you noted, regulate sugar uptake. We're finding that the probiotics are the ones affecting, at some level, glucose levels. And that's why this kit, this MetabolicBiome Plus kit, was developed by some brilliant scientists that we have on our team. And it's actually up for a big award in the nutritional world because of it's not suppressing sugar with supplements that suppress sugar, like chromium and things like that. This is working from a gut level to help. And we have done studies in helping with sugar levels, diabetics, and lipid problems. And we have very positive outcomes.
Perfect. That's great. So what is gut dysbiosis? So when the ecosystem of the microbes in the gut gets imbalanced or dysfunctional, we call this gut dysbiosis. This can be due to a change in your diet, infection, a buildup of microbial byproducts like methane and hydrogen. The buildup of gaseous byproducts can lead to bloating and discomfort in the gut. So we have 5 foods that promote friendly bacteria. And this actually might be a little surprising for some people when we name off those 5 foods.
Yeah, I was surprised too a little.
Yeah, so foods that promote healthy bacteria. Interestingly enough, that would be bread.
But let's clarify, not Wonder Bread.
Right, no,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's an issue with our wheat in, today. It is not the wheat of many years ago.
Right.
So we're not promoting that you go out and eat a bunch of bread to build up your gut microbiome. Right.
Yes.
So you have bread, legumes, fish, nuts, and plant-based foods.
Yeah.
Now in in what I do, the nutrition response testing, if you are testing against legumes and nuts and seeds, that's because your digestive system's not ready to be able to break that down. So is that something that we would see as a negative with this, or is that all going to go, since there's not bread and legumes actually in the, there's
Right.
nothing in the shake?
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any kind of issue with any dietary limitations.
No, this is so clean. So, there's a very specific fiber in these shakes, and it's a fiber that helps feed the healthy bacteria.
Right.
It's not a bulking agent fiber like people think of psyllium and I'm going to have a really good bowel movement. It's a fiber that designed to feed the healthy bacteria, which, because we see in the scientific literature, we don't eat enough good legumes, or let's say healthy kind of grains that the microbiome does need. So we put it into the shake.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay. And then we have foods that actually will harm your gut microbiota. Alongside consuming products that boost the delivery of the microbiota, we should also avoid foods that harm our gut. There were 3 key food groups that experts identified as decreasing the beneficial bacteria, as well as increasing your inflammatory markers. And these were animal protein, refined sugar, and fast foods. Now, in addition to, I do want to say something about the animal protein. Animal protein is important. In this setting, it needs to be an organic grass-fed beef, so that you're not getting that potentially inflammatory grain aspect from the meat. I can share a little story. I had a client that came to me for a heart sound recorder, and they had had a heart attack. And so because of the heart attack, they went vegan. And by the time, I lost a lot of weight, got stuff under control, still went on statins, and then came to me to check out for nutritional deficiencies of the heart. And they were having a lot of brain fog. And since they weren't true vegan, I said, do me a favor and just add an organic egg every day.
Yeah.
Came back 4 weeks later and the brain fog was completely gone.
Yeah.
So there is good animal protein is good.
Yeah.
For you.
And I thank you for saying that, because I feel when we look at the literature, we don't eat enough quality proteins.
Right.
To add to your note, like we look in the studies are there when we look at, chicken, breast of a chicken is loaded with hormones. We're seeing hormone disruptors happening out there in our youth, especially.
Right. Yes.
So we're not against protein, but we want clean protein.
Clean, right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 7 food types that promote the anti-inflammatory bacteria. Inflammation is implicated in all diseases, and as such, eating foods that reduce inflammation can promote good health. Lead researcher Laura Bolt and her team at the UMC of, where is that?
Groningen. Yeah.
Found that the following 7 food groups promoted the proliferation of anti-inflammatory bacteria in the gut. All right, here we go. Lots of people are going to like this first one.
Yep.
Red wine, legumes,
yep.
Vegetables, fruit, cereals, fish, and nuts. Now I can hear people say cereal, really?
Yeah, we're not talking Fruit Loops.
Right. Again, it comes down to the quality of the food that we're choosing. And we're also not encouraging you to drink wine in excess, because then it becomes detrimental. So
yeah, let me share you. There was a study on red wine. 1 glass of wine in a study worked as an antioxidant. 2 glasses were an oxidant. Now everybody asks, well, how big was the glass? It's a normal size 6 ounce to 8 ounce serving, which is a large size.
That's a big glass. Yeah.
That's a big glass. But there are some people out there that, a big glass is their routine.
Right.
But there's polyphenols in red wine.
Right.
And we are discovering that certain bacteria, anti-inflammatory bacteria, what that means is we have certain probiotics that cause inflammation and certain probiotics that don't cause inflammation. What we're discovering is like SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Those are bugs that create a lot of that methane gas.
Right.
Those are bugs that create inflammatory cytokines. Maybe we've heard of that word in the news, the cytokine storm from a particular virus that was out there. That's what that is. Those are inflammatory markers. And certain probiotics do that as certain viruses do that.
Right, right. All right, so what's a good diet? Mediterranean diet is a way of eating based on traditional cuisine. So, you know, this isn't just run and grab any old, right? This is whole food, fresh food, organic, all high quality. Naturally high in the polyphenols from extra virgin olive oils, nuts, red wine, vegetables, fruits, legumes, and the whole grain cereals. Again, not the Fruit Loops or the Cheerios. These compounds act as antioxidants in the body and have been found to inhibit the chronic vascular inflammation associated with arteriosclerosis, which is inflammation of the actual vessels in the heart and buildup in the arteries, as well as other age-associated disorders. A new study investigated the role of the Mediterranean diet on the gut flora of an elderly group over 1 year, and the results showed an improvement in health outcomes that reduced frailty. The findings support the feasibility of improving the diet to positively affect the gut microbiota in order to promote healthier aging and lower frailty in the elderly population, which is very important because they do get really frail because they just don't feel like eating most of the time. And I think from my standpoint, when doing the response testing, that a lot of times that comes down to a lack of enzymes and a lack of hydrochloric acid balance in the gut.
100%. I appreciate you saying that. When we look at digestive factors, I mean, in my years of experience, a lot of it comes down to lack of hydrochloric acid, a lack of enzymes. Those are so many factors, from nutritional deficiencies to high stress is a big component that reduces that output of digestive enzymes. But, you know, when I came out of college, I worked for an osteopath. He said, fix the tube north to south. That's what we did in my beginning days of doing nutritional therapy.
Right. Perfect.
All
right. So healthy fats. I think our society has definitely taken on a fear of fats. You know? And I mean, there's good fats, there's bad fats, but just the word fat tends to make people shudder in fear. But we're talking avocados, you know, avocado oil, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, good stuff, right? They contain essential fatty acids, which help to keep you warm. They're necessary for your body to absorb important nutrients, and they play a crucial role in some of your body's everyday functions. They just help keep you full. I think it helps to manage cravings.
Big
right?
time.
When you have enough of the healthy fats in your diet.
Big time.
And yeah, we're not talking, you know, bacon and all that kind of stuff. So eating foods rich in healthy fats can help shed extra pounds also, which is very contradictory to what we've all been told.
Normal thought, yeah.
Right. So consuming sufficient amounts of the healthy monounsaturated fats, such as plant-based oils, nuts, seeds, and avocados, may promote your fat loss. Additionally, there's been studies that there may be a connection between the polyunsaturated fat supplementation and blood sugar. Some studies indicate that this healthy fat is essential for fostering your glycemic control, helping maintain healthy blood sugar levels in people that are insulin resistant. I, for one, am a full believer in that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a type 1 diabetic, and she's probably 50 years old, reduced her insulin need by less than half doing a program like, you know, a higher fat diet.
Yeah.
And I will share with you, actually, it just made me think of this. We were in a training with our sales reps, and Tom is happy to announce this. He did these kits. Tom's a type 1 diabetic. Nobody knew that in our entire sales team.
Oh, okay.
And he raised his, not EpiPen, his insulin pen. And he goes, reduced its need in half.
Wow.
By doing the MetabolicBiome Plus.
Yeah.
So that's a big statement for somebody who is insulin dependent to manage their sugars. When you can have because they know their numbers all the time, you can reduce your insulin need by half on a program like this. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I can tell you, doing the NutriClear, and now I'm in the process of doing the microbiome. When I was doing the NutriClear, I got hungry, right in that middle time where you actually had to have a snack.
Right.
I don't get that with the microbiome.
Yeah, because we have some coconut fat in the kit.
Yeah, I am like nice and level all the way, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's time for my next shake, and then by the time I get home, I'm ready for dinner, but I'm not, famished.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so we're going to go back to a little bit more about the polyphenols. Blood sugar balance is also critical in healthy weight management. Some studies show that consuming the polyphenols has a positive effect on your insulin insensitivity. Excuse me. They did a pilot study and they took 12 healthy individuals ages 20 to 40, a randomized crossover study. The results demonstrated improvements in insulin sensitivity in participants given a drink that was rich in the polyphenols. I can get you a link to that study if you'd like. There were another study where they took 6 weeks of dietary intervention with 333 milligrams, I'm not quite sure how they came up with that, of polyphenols from strawberries and cranberries for improved insulin sensitivity in overweight and obese non-diabetic insulin-resistant human subjects. When I read this, it brought back a memory of my mom when she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. She was afraid of all fruit.
Sure.
They literally made her afraid of strawberries. I'm like, it's a strawberry. It's good for you. Oh, no. So when I read that, I'm
really messed with the mind about proper foods.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. All right, insulin resistance is a condition that occurs when excess glucose is in the blood, reduces the cell's ability to utilize blood sugar for energy. Blood sugar regulation is a critical factor blood sugar is a factor because when cells lose their ability to respond normally to insulin, the result is a buildup of glucose in the blood. The body attempts to cope with that buildup by producing more insulin. Okay, over time, your pancreas is going to lose its ability to produce insulin. Insulin resistance has the potential to result in type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetics, and gestational diabetes. Common approaches to promote healthy blood sugar metabolism include your dietary guidelines, weight loss, regular exercise. Oftentimes, an unhealthy diet is deficient in the nutrients necessary to support healthy cell membranes. And again, that's where I get the biggest impact that I see the biggest impact with my clients when we do the nutrition response testing and we are personalizing their nutritional protocol with food-based supplementation. So I'm a fan of the right nutrition. And let's see, where was I? So basically, some dietary changes to include would be to limit your sugars and grains, your inflammatory fatty acids, and your conventional grain-fed meats. Again, we're not anti-meat, we're just anti-grain-fed meat. Right, and then replace your oils. If you're using the canola, all of that, replace it with the avocado, the coconut, the organic olive oil, and even ghee. We use ghee quite a bit in our house, organic ghee, grass-fed ghee. So
yeah, don't be afraid to feed the body good fats, as we've talked about.
Right.
You look at the ketogenic diet, things of like that. The brain is one big ball of fat.
Right. Your brain functions off of glucose, fat.
Right.
And I think that's, when we are put on certain medications for lowering cholesterol, I think that kind of gives into some of our population with the dementia and the memory losses and things like that. So there's a little acronym you could use when you're considering how to manage your diet. And you know, we have an acronym called CPR, right? To save a life, you perform CPR.
Yep.
Well, this is CPF: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats.
Yeah.
And if you can remember that acronym, make sure the fats are the good fats, like we've talked about today. And if any of these are foods that you've been restricted from because of nutrition response testing, don't worry, we'll get you built back up and get you back into being able to add those back into your diet.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're, you know, this whole program, the whole setup with the NutriClear Plus kit to the Metabolic Biome kit it's a lifestyle program. It's resetting the system. And it's not saying, okay, do this for a few weeks and then go back to what you did. You're going to see how good you can feel. Right. And you're not going to, you know, yeah, we're human nature. We're going to, you know, fall off the bus here or there at a piece of cake here or there. I'm not a purist. Right. But you know how good you can feel. And it's training your system, a lifestyle system.
So I do have a question. I had a gal that did the NutriClear Plus and she absolutely loved the shake. And then I reached out to you about, you know, could she stay on just the shake part? Because I didn't want to keep her in a chronic state of detox. Right. And same thing with this concept. How often? This is 2 shakes a day for 15 days, along with the supplement protocol. The shake themselves, can those be introduced daily at some point, or? You know, I'm absolutely, I don't mean to stumble, but I'm like, an example of my lifestyle is I drink a NutriClear shake every morning. I'm exposed to toxins every day. I'm out on the road all day. But then the metabolic biome shakes, yes, you don't have to follow after resetting the system. You don't have to do 2 shakes a day and be as stringent, but here's a great meal replacement with that fiber. Absolutely. Right. Yeah, to keep the system going. And it's a super healthy way to do your day. And you don't have to think, oh, but there's McDonald's and I'm driving. Here's a shake. Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. All right. So we know that blood sugar can be managed using a combination of lifestyle changes and medication, which we try to avoid. Yep. But it's also possible for high blood glucose levels to return to normal levels through significant weight loss and caloric restriction. Additional studies, again, have been done that if you want, I can provide you with the link for that. You just need to contact me. All right. And all of this is scientifically backed up. And I'll let you handle the scientific part. Yeah. And I'm just going to ad lib this one because I feel so confident in what we've done here. We have a great team of internal scientists that developed this program. And I'm going to give the listeners out there kind of what, and I know we're going to get to that, but it's a healthy, high protein shake with the good fiber to feed the microbiome. But then there's a few packets of pills you take a day. And in those packets, you are helping regulate insulin sensitivity and things of that nature. So we talk about that the biome is built on health and blood sugar balance. And that's why I'm saying we develop these capsules with nutrients in there to, 1, regulate insulin sensitivity, 2, to increase what they call AMPK activity. And that's a technical, but AMPK is your metabolism. So we've put nutrients in there to increase metabolism a little bit. It's not a stimulant, but it's to increase the body's ability to burn off this excess. And so we put a lot of thought into this program of where we need to be. It's a totally different system. It's not really a overly calorie restriction. You're not doing, you know, I just lost the name of it, but keto, where you're doing, you know, low calories. Keto diet? Yes, thank you. But you are doing a sensible food throughout the day, and you're not doing a big meal, starving the system, doing a big meal, starving. You're titrating in, because that's where blood sugar stability shows up. Right. And you see blood sugar stability show up with protein and fats, high quality fats. Right, exactly. All right. We kind of covered that part, what the kit was made of, but we can go, we mentioned the proteins, but we can go over those again.
Yeah, let me refresh, and I'm
Yeah.
happy to do that, Chris, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
You know, for the listeners out there, I earlier on talked about the hydrolyzed collagen and the collagen component, as I call it, the Botox in a jar. It's very good for your skin. But the whey protein is a high quality protein source. Not all whey proteins are created equal. Ours is a very low allergen. We take the allergic kind of dairy component out of the system. So people who maybe even have a dairy sensitivity can do our whey protein in most cases.
Okay.
Again, I mentioned the pea protein. For some people, they want to do a vegetarian source because the hydrolyzed collagen is not vegetarian.
Right.
So the pea protein, but be assured it's a high quality, clean product. And in those, you're doing 2 shakes a day and you're doing 2 packets of pills a day. And you're doing sensible snacks. There is a booklet in the kit. Yep, there you go. Boom, you are prepared. There's a booklet in the kit to tell you what to eat. And we have a great support team to help Chris with any of our clients with food ideas. Yep. In those products, and we'll show you, there's your protein base. But in there, in the packet of pills that Chris just showed, you have a 500 milligram fish oil, a super clean fish oil. We were we were the only company in the United States initially to have this Orivo certification. And what that tells you, it's very clean source, tested for heavy metals, even tested for plastics, and not large fish sources. This is small fish source. We source off the coast of Chile. It's processed on the coast of Chile. So people worry about oxidation of oils and impurities. This, we got written up in actually a journal that nobody else would read, but it's on fish oil. And we were cited as the only company in the United States sourcing this at that time. Others have come on board, but for your listeners to just reassure you,
right?
We test for oxidation levels, we test for heavy metals, we test for plastics. Not everybody's doing that.
Wonderful.
And I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but we are getting a new certification, a full laboratory certification that companies can come to us for reassurance on their products.
Awesome.
So that's the fish oil. And then the glucose resolve is the other pills in the packet. That's the product I was talking about that's going to help with insulin sensitivity. So it's nutrients to help with sugar control and insulin resistance. And then there is the AMPK activators in there. So it's a nice, what I call a glycemic multivitamin. So you're getting the healthy oils we talked about, you're getting the nutrients to help with insulin control and metabolism, little upregulation of the metabolism. This is not a fast weight loss program. I mentioned the 7 pounds in the 15 days on the detox.
Right.
Because when you take away the inflammatory foods and clean up your diet, you're going to lose weight. You take inflammation out of the system. That's the new science on weight loss, is decrease inflammation. Right. This is a slower, healthier program than a lot of the programs out there for rapid weight loss. That's not what this is about. This is about, again, a lifestyle program to teach your body how to do it correctly and to manage it further down the line. Like you were asking, can they do these kits further? Absolutely. And if they just want to do eventually 1 shake and 1 packet of pills a day and make the kit last longer, absolutely. And then you've got the booklet of, these are the foods to follow.
Right.
We get off track easily, and my grocery list is like, oh boy, what do I do?
Well, like you said earlier too, you physically feel better.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of the driving force to continue.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What we're doing.
Yeah. I think we forget and we don't know how good we could feel.
Right.
I'm in my 50s. I've got to be busy and keep up with my child and my work.
Right.
And
right.
I know when I do these kits, and I do them, by the way, I do walk the walk.
Right.
You feel good.
Right.
You do feel good.
It's funny you would say that because I have clients that, how we don't know what it feels like to feel good. So they come and see me, they feel good.
Yeah.
Well, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna take it all the way, and you're gonna have your optimal health is my goal for them. So.
And that's the exciting component to people that are listening in or future listeners. I've known Chris now for a couple of years already.
Yeah.
I've covered huge territory. I've been in this forever. You are working with a very passionate practitioner here for the client that sees Chris, who really is invested in your health. And this is not just because we're doing this call and I'm blowing smoke. It's been exciting to work with her, because I was just talking to a doctor friend of mine in Oregon today, and I said, where are these motivated practitioners? And Chris is definitely one of them. So if you see Chris, you're in great hands. I can assure you of that. And she's always willing to reach out to other resources when she doesn't have the answer, because we all do.
Yeah, I don't know everything. I do not know everything.
Yeah. So I know she has a lot of references. If you're the person that needs the scientific material, she has the references and the links that can be sent to you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us today. Do you have access to the chat box if we needed any questions, or?
Yeah, I didn't see any.
Okay. All right. Well, this is how you can get a hold of me. I work inside of Tompkins Family Chiropractic, but this is a email address. And then if you are interested in either the NutriClear or the MetabolicBiome product kits, you can go to my e-store. Obviously, there's going to be plenty of other options. And if you are unsure of where to begin, give me a call or email, and I will help guide you the right direction.
Awesome. I appreciate your time, Chris, and making the effort to educate your clients out there on a healthy lifestyle program. And I will send this out to you for future reference.
Yeah, so I'll be posting this to my YouTube page, so that those of you that are watching, if you want to rewatch it, you can do it that way, or share it would be great.
Thank you for your time.
So much. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.